how many dollars can you, the trainer can earn?
40 plus years experience, you're getting me at a discount. You can never pay me what I'm worth.
I'm trying to say that a civil engineer, mechanical engineer doing job of $500, well-groomed engineer can earn 20,000, even 100K plus dollars.
A general practitioner is never going to make as much as a brain surgeon.
Have you ever thought that by communicating with people, you can earn millions, millions of dollars? Yes, I'm saying it's true. You don't trust me? We have Alex Dumas. He will be telling us how we can do that. Thank you so much, Alex, for your precious time.
No, I appreciate your routine. It's a pleasure to be here. Glad to be a part of this program and share with this audience.
Alex, everybody wants to be a doctor, everybody wants to be an engineer, everybody wants a secure job, right? But you, by yourself, you became a public speaker. Like when you decided to be a public speaker, your parents didn't hesitate it or like say that, please, Alex, don't do this. Do a secure job, do MBA or finance or something like that. But you became an entrepreneur, a public speaker, keynote speaker, best-selling author, that you're working on multiple things. So how this journey started?
Yeah, it's a great question because if you had seen me as little Alex, right, little short Alex, you would not have believed or imagined that I would be in front of someone like you having this kind of conversation or being on stages. I was fairly shy. I was a little bit of two people as growing up, right? I was shy at home. I was very quiet, reserved. I remember one time I got a report card home, right, a progress report, and I was doing well in school, but my teacher was like, "Wow, Alex talks a lot in class. He's very talkative, very excitable." And my parents made a remark. They're like, "Whoa, Alex, you talk?" Right? Because they're not used to me really expressing myself. I'm the youngest of four children, and I was just very much to myself when I was in school, when I was with my teammates, when I was in the neighborhood. I was kind of the loud and crazy kid. I was the class clown. So I had these two identities of being isolated from one realm and then kind of all over the place, over the top, being extra in another space. And we fast forward a number of years, that journey into entrepreneurship started in 2014, and that was mainly out of fear. So let me give you the context here. My wife and I, we have our daughter, she's 4 at the time, and we find out that we're going to have a baby boy in 2015. So my wife is pregnant, and I'm thinking to myself, all right, I got to make some money. I got to make some additional money because what we're having right now, we have enough for mouth to feed. And so I get involved with this thing called network marketing. It's really in the financial services realm. And I'm recruiting people, enrolling people to be a part of a team, getting them licensed and things like that. And this is back in New York where I grew up. And this is my first introduction into what you would call self-help or personal transformation, right? So I was listening to audios from Les Brown, right? The godfather of public speaking, Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, Bob Proctor, all these heavy hitters, Ed Milet, and watching them on YouTube and listening to these speeches, I thought to myself, wow, that's really amazing. I felt inspired. And I set that all up because in 2016, I landed a sales role with an organization, and their target market were professional speakers, digital marketers, coaches. So I would go to different conferences on the company's behalf as a sponsor. So I'll set up the table, try to get people interested in the service, but obviously I'm not standing at my table for 3 days in a row. I would go to the back of the room inside of the ballrooms or wherever they're having it, and I would watch speakers and I would watch them make offers and make these pitches. And that light bulb turned on for me of, wow, I got to learn how to do that and move people and mobilize people. And that was the real light bulb moment of maybe I can do this. And it took a number of years before I actually landed on a stage and had the courage to do that. But I want to just set that up for the audience of this wasn't just an overnight thing. You can see the picture in the bag. You can look at me now, be like, wow, Alex, you just got it all together. Like, it's been a process of building this and creating who I am.
I was totally relating to your journey, and I was a very shy kid at that period of time. And in school, I was very, very shy kid when someone usually say this, please read this paragraph or something like that. I used to stay away, but after that, I accidentally. So I can totally relate to your journey, and I think as an as an artist, as a public speaker, because public speakers are also trainers, motivational speakers. They are also an artist because uh, you need to absorb. First, I think the first step is you need to absorb. You need to build analysis. So I was talking a lot. Now I will be going to ask you this. Like you have been working in this industry from last 11 years, and I think a lot of people say that motivational speakers they charge a lot of money, but on the other side they say that money is nothing. They say that hard work, consistency, resilience, these things matters, but money doesn't matter. And I was going through some list of some famous. I will be not mentioning them, but they charge millions of dollars for TEDx talks. So why this hypocrisy? Like you are working in the market. Do you think this hypocrisy should not be in the market? Obviously,
Yeah, I believe I was having this conversation with my daughter the other day. She's 14 now at the time of recording this, and she asked me, "Hey, Dad, what do you think about professional athletes? Should they charge? Should they get paid? Are they overpaid?" And I take a second and thought to myself, "No, they're paid exactly what they can command. They're paid exactly what their value is of how they see themselves, but also the marketplace in terms of revenue for the organization, ticket sales, T-shirts, merchandise, all that." And I love that you said that these past 11 years and running of the work I've done on myself. Well, if time is our most valuable asset, no one's been with me when, in the late nights where I've been working on presentations or reading books or listening to podcasts and having conversations, investing myself with coaches and programs and peers and getting feedback. Sometimes feedback I don't want, but that's a part of the growth process of being able to put that ego aside and recognize, okay, I have room for improvement. And I think that's the game, so to speak, that I'm on. This game of improving constantly and never ending. I use as an acronym, I can improve constantly and never ending. And I believe that if you can command it and somebody will pay it, then go for it. There's no limits. The only reason why that may become a question because at least here in the United States, the Western world, the concept of wealth and riches has been distorted. People see wealth, through movies as the evil businessman, the person who's going to put people out on the street so that they can get an extra buck. And yeah, there are folks like that misuse and abuse their power. But for the most part, what I've recognized as a speaker and a coach and with other entrepreneurs is that the people who are doing the best or have the best businesses are most fulfilling and sustainable. They're actually doing it to help other people. They're actually doing it for a a cause, for a crusade that supports other people versus kind of a quick money grab and you get out of town before people figure out the deal. If you're going to be in a profession such as this where I'm public facing, I'm the face of the company, I'm the face of the business, it makes sense that I'm really invested into backing up my word with actions.
I think they should charge accordingly because they are providing services, right? So,
Yeah.
but they should not be hypocrisy. I will be giving you a compliment because your voice and your face is resembling to Sir Morgan Freeman, and I'm getting that kind of vibe from you. Sir Morgan Freeman once he said that in communication, voice plays a vital role, and Sir Morgan Freeman he has a very dope voice, and you have also a dope voice. How a dog voice can create an impact on humans and how you have improved your voice over the years.
Yeah, that's a great question. Uh, it's been a process for sure. And it's been what I mentioned earlier about just removing the ego, removing the expectation of how I look or how I think I look. I like to kind of joke around with people when they ask me things, not necessarily the same question, but like, hey, how do I get better? How do I do this and that? And I say, well, you have to learn to get better and look bad at the same time. Because I haven't met anybody who's been able to like show up really polished and great and also improve at the same time, right? We think about babies. when they're learning to crawl and walk, right? They're falling, they're stumbling as they're eating, they're getting food all over themselves. They have to learn the mechanics, the motor skills. Same thing with speaking. Our voice is an instrument. I have guitars at home. Did I start learning how to play like Jimi Hendrix the first time I played? No. I had to learn, okay, this is the C note, D, E, F. I had to learn the language of music, practice, and then it becomes reflexive, where I don't have to think about it. And with our voices, we have to get past this notion of like how I sound, because I think for any speaker, when you do the work as far as what I call reviewing game film, whether it's a presentation or listen to an audio speech of yourself, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe I sound like that, right? We're the only ones thinking, I'm like, oh, my ears, I don't want to hear it. And there's also recognizing, all right, how can I get better? Can I pause more? Can I deliver things in a concise way? Have I practiced what I was going to say so that once the camera's on or the microphone is on, the lights are here, I'm ready to go. So I think preparation is a part of the voice, actually getting trained potentially. And at the end of the day, just having fun, because we put the pressure on ourselves to make a thing perfect. It's like, I just have a voice. My voice is the voice I have. I've been gifted this. This is what I have. And I can do different things to make it deeper. Or I can make it smaller. But I have to be able to be flexible and play with that. And I appreciate how I sound. I've gotten past that. There's moments I'm still like, oh no. But if I want to get better, I've got to be willing to listen and practice.
You have given a master class. You have just given a master class on voice modulation. Like you should know the scale in which particular scale you talk, C major, E. You should know the scale in which particular scale you talk. And I think the best we have harmonium or piano. So we can
Yeah.
practice on that as well. So these are some deep things, and you have done. You have taught me a new thing as well. So I hope all the viewers are enjoying it. If you are enjoying this, please do subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. Now I will be going to detrack you a little bit because I have a surprise rapid fire question which is prepared by me. So you have to answer them very quickly because people think that entrepreneurs, public speakers, actors, social media content creators, they have a very busy schedule, but on the other day, they are also humans and they have some other things to do as well. So you are a morning bird or you are a night owl.
I'm both, honestly, because I'm usually the first one awake in my family, especially if it's the weekends. And that's just a part of who I am. I have a high motor, and for someone out there who's listening, like, you should be getting more rest. Like, yes, I do my best to, and it's a lot better than what it used to be years ago, where I would get 4 hours of sleep, 5 hours of sleep, and be a crazy man. Now I'm in a good routine of 6 to 7 hours. That's pretty good for me. That's really all I need. So I can be up till 12 midnight, 1 o'clock, get up at 6 or 7 and be fine. And I like those times because that gives me time to think, because I have my kids running around, my wife, dogs. I'm a family man running a business. And I think that the mindset shift for a lot of folks is, I'm a business person with this family on the side. Like, no, no, your family's first, your health is first, your self-care is first, then the business gets taken care of. So I think I've been able to have those things in harmony. I don't really believe in a balance, because if I'm talking to you right now, that means I'm ignoring something else in my life, right? Somebody might need me, someone might be calling me. I'm not available for that. But I also set it up with the context of, hey, this is the time that I'm doing this. So if you need something from me, this is the time to ask now. And then I'll devote my time to you, and then I'm complete and I'll move on. But yeah, I'm both an early bird and night owl. I love the work I do. I love creating. It's hard to turn off that switch.
Are you always politically correct or you are sometimes you are wrong?
Am I wrong? I do my best not to ruffle feathers because I know my energy, my mindset, my intensity can be a bit much for people at times. But I'm really focused on just making sure people around me are having a good time, that they feel that they're valued and seen. And I think that's the best gift I can ever give to somebody else. But sometimes, you know, I could poke the bear, as they say out here in the States. I can get a bit raunchy with things, or a bit cheeky with my humor, and that's okay too. Whoever's gonna like it's gonna like it. Whoever doesn't. It's all right.
Okay. Biggest fear.
Biggest fear. Ooh. I would say anything, just anything happening to my kids. That's the thing that always, uh, yeah, that kind of grips my heart, and and I think maybe that's really more of like control too. As you may be aware, right? We want to control everything. We want to have things the way we want them, and when things are not the way that I want, that's an opportunity for me to grow and live into, like, all right, where am I coming from? Why am I trying to make something happen that maybe isn't supposed to happen?
Last book you read, and what was the message you get from that book?
What was the message of this book? Well, this ebook is called Speak Up, Stand Out. It's something that is a complement to my signature talk, which is of the same name, Speak Up and Stand Out, build unshakable confidence to amplify your impact and influence. And the takeaway I want people to recognize is that your story matters and your voice matters. And this book is designed specifically, it's essentially me coaching you through these pages. It's very short, it's only a few pages, but it's lined up with a lot of different questions so that the reader can apply this. Is not something just like the read, like, okay, this is a great read. No, this is an active, interactive experience where I'm asking these questions, and now it's time for that reader to reflect on it. And at the end of the day, I want them to come to this point of recognizing, wow, they have a story that's worth sharing. It matters, it's valuable, and that their voice, whether their physical, like audio voice, or even their voice through keyboards and words and text, it matters. Their opinion matters, and I want to encourage people to speak up and stand out and share who they are with the world.
Yeah, so this is an end of a rapid fire round, and I hope all the viewers will going to like this. So now we have to come back on the track, and you have been working with multiple people, multiple entrepreneurs from last many years, from almost more than 10 years, 11 years. And what is the importance of collaboration as an entrepreneur with your team? Because we see that people are very afraid, employees especially. They face uh, face hesitation. Like if I have to talk to my business development head or my CEO, I will face like a, it's very difficult for me. Like I will try to write an email. I will hesitate to go face to face talk. I think real time talking, real time conversation is the most important thing. So how, as an employee, I can build confidence and how I can play my part, and what is the importance of collaboration according to you?
Right, that's a great one. That ties into what I shared from the stage about intentions. And I have a three-part framework called WIN, win, because I'm competitive. I want to win, and I want to make sure other people win with me. And that middle piece of intentions is the way that I anchor that in, because in everything, it's a matter of enrollment, a matter of having a big dream as a leader, having a big vision, and having this focus of, hey, this is where we're going. And people want to rally to a big dream. They want to be able to see a dream so big that they can fit inside of it, that they can see how they can play a part in it. Because when we're contributed for a big purpose, for a big mission, it rallies people. They get excited, and I've got stories beyond stories of that. And for a leader, I think it makes it the most fun when your team, when people around you are like, hey, this is what we're up to today, right? When they come with a level of enthusiasm, the work is better, it's a healthier culture, the client or customer, they get served at a high level, because it's not just this last minute rinky dink throw together project or service, right? You can tell the difference when somebody's actually taking the time to care. They paid extra attention. They double check. They triple check. They've they've done everything possible to make sure that this is as I won't say perfect, but is can be valued versus somebody like, oh, I just here you go, right? It's like a birthday cake. When you see somebody who's put a masterful job of the icing, the letters, the cake itself, it's like, oh my goodness, this is made with love. Versus somebody who's just kind of like, well, here's something I just kind of put together. It's got ingredients that don't make sense, right? There's a toenail in there, there's hair, the icing's off, it's all messed up, and you're like, thank you, kind of the thought that counts. Maybe you need to think harder. That's a possibility.
Someone told you that you can be a good actor as well because your expressions and your stage presence is really commendable. And I'm very enjoying your conversation. Uh, it's a very personal question, but for the motivation of the people, how many dollars, how many million dollars a
Mm,
new trainer, new public speaker can earn? Because usually the Gen Z, youngsters, Generation Z, they think that anything in 2025 is a piece of cake. We can earn millions of dollars by just talking. Talking is the most important,
mm.
is the most easiest thing. We have to just go on the stage and we have to talk and we will get paid. So, what is your take on it?
It does look simple, right? I love stand-up comedy. I love watching Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, Bill Burr, all these giants. And when you watch it, it looks like they're just talking. They're just saying things and people are laughing. But as I mentioned before, people don't see all the things behind the scenes that had to happen. They don't see the hundreds of repetitions, the times that I deliver this talk and there's crickets. Nobody's saying anything. Nobody's laughing. Nobody's. It's just like, okay. And coming back to the ego, recognizing, all right, do I want to look good or do I want to get better? I can't do both at the same time. It's really tough to do that. Look good, right? Get and be impressive, and also improve and work on my craft. And I think that's something that's missing a bit. And I don't want to trash the younger folks because I think they have these different advantages that I didn't have, right? I'm a child of the 80s, grew up in the 90s. So I grew up in this space where all of this was accelerating with video games, internet, music, movies, all this stuff. And I'm sure somebody from my parents could look at my generation and be like, wow, you guys had it easy. You guys are soft. So I don't want to call this next generation soft. I just think that there's a level of grit that experience is going to teach them that they have to be willing to put themselves out there in terms of looking silly, being rejected, not having things go perfectly, and then having the maturity to say, okay, what can be improved and who can help me? And I think once we can ask for help, things get better. I've been on both sides of the fence. I've tried to do a lot of things by myself and be the self-made man, and that was exhausting until I got wise and like, wow, there's other people in my network who are actually a lot better at this than I am, and actually I can focus on my gifts. My gifts are speaking. My gifts are creating. My gift is encouraging people, uplifting people, and ensuring that people are acknowledged and valued. I'm going to do that as much as I can and let everybody else take care of the stuff that is not my key strength.
But you haven't answered how many dollars can a new trainer can earn?
How many dollars can speaking create?
Yeah,
Whatever they want, right? I mean, I've sent in proposals for thousands of dollars, and it's been it's. I'll share this. We have to see it in order to do it, to be it, right? If I can't even see the possibility of an organization or association paying me this amount of money, I'm never going to go for it. I'm going to shrink and hide and be like, well, I'll just take a sandwich and a soda to come to your event. But if I'm showing from a place of, well, you know what, I have 10 plus years of experience, and then not to mention what I've learned in college, not to mention my life, right? These 40 plus years of experience, you're getting me at a discount. You can never pay me what I'm worth. So whatever number I charge is the number I charge. And I'm going to be okay with that.
Exactly, and that's what I'm trying to say. That experience, we see that a civil engineer, mechanical engineer doing job of 20, uh, $500, and on the other side, a well-groomed engineer can earn 20,000. It all depends on your capabilities and your experience.
A general practitioner is never going to make as much as a brain surgeon. That brain surgeon has a specialty. They are an expert in this field. General practitioner, we need them. They're valuable, but not as valuable. I'm not going to have my regular doctor operate on my heart or my brain. I need somebody who's been trained, who knows what they're looking for and can spot anomalies.
Exactly, exactly. Totally agree. Lastly, any exercises for the youngsters, for the people who are watching this, they are shy like me. Uh, how we can improve our public speaking in a room alone? Just like we are very scared. Everybody is saying us, what they really going to think? Like how we can improve our public speaking skills?
Yeah, great, great way. I would recommend for someone who's maybe shy or not as extroverted as I am. We have this beautiful thing called Zoom or Google Meet or Fireside, whatever these camera apps. I would recommend record yourself. You don't have to share with anybody. You don't have to broadcast it live on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn. Record yourself. Like actually do the full thing. This is what I love to do for presentations. I like to do what we call like rehearsals, right? There's a reason why sports teams they do scrimmages, why they do practices, because they don't want to be the first time that they run this play to be on a Sunday, right? If you think about football or basketball, I don't want the first time I'm going to practice this 3 point shot to be in the middle of the game when everybody's watching me, the lights are on, the camera, like, oh my God, that's when we freeze up. So the more you can practice and prepare, meaning just get on the camera, just get in your, if you're going to do a presentation, get dressed in the actual presentation outfit you're going to wear the shoes, wear the socks, go through the whole rehearsal, have the camera set up, stand in your power pose and deliver the talk. And who cares if you flub and you mess up? No one's going to watch it. Only you're going to know it. And then here's the key part: watch that recording and you're gonna see like, oh my goodness, don't judge it from a lens of like, this sucks. Look for, okay, I did this well. All right, I felt good here. I was in good harmony. I was I was having my body move the way I wanted to. I actually looked and practiced like I was talking to an audience. These things matter because once you get in front of a live crowd, a lot of your talk might fly out your head. You might be like, I don't know what I'm going to say. Practice that opening, practice your close. Make those things be the things you work on the most because how you start off is important to set the tone, set the listener for the audience, and then that close is going to be the way that they remember you, that you're unforgettable, that you are remarkable, and then that potentially leads to more business. If I do a great job, oh my goodness, you got to see this, right? It's like a movie. I just watched the best movie, Mateen. You got to watch it. Why? Because it invokes something within me. Those actors didn't just, camera, all right, and they say lines. No, they practice, they get into character. So same thing with speaking. You are a performer. You are a character, for lack of a better word. Be that character as much as you can be, and the rest will be history.
Thank you so much, Alex. And I am very amazed, and I'm very, as I said, that you remind me, Sir Morgan Freeman. Before leaving, any message for those people who are continuously failing, that they are trying to do something in their life, students, entrepreneurs, businessmen, what is one message you want to give to them from your previous past experiences?
What I'll share with them is something I share on my daily 3 minute podcast, which is called Love, Serve, Care. This is how I close out every episode. I let people know this is a core value of mine that you are born to live your life in abundance. You're the master of your future. You control your freedom, and you have complete dominance of your thoughts, your emotions, and your habits. If you can embody those words, then your confidence will soar. If you recognize, "Hey, I'm born to live my life with wealth and prosperity. Like this is designed for me to have. All I have to do now is just take control of how I think and and what I allow my habits to be. If we can do that, then there's no stopping you. Just there's no limit.
I hope all the folks will going to like this podcast. If you like this podcast, do subscribe the channel and visit our other social media platforms as well. We will be going to meet you in the next podcast with the same channel PBN. Till then, take care.